Hopefully it will. All right, we're live. Sully, it's our guest tonight. Rob Adams.
Do you approve of his photos?
Partially, we'll get to that. Frankie Donati, my AV producer's here. Not in a great mood. He's a little cranky, so we'll have to work around that a little bit. So we'll defer to Frank only when we need to, because might not get a very good response tonight from him. But Rob Adams is here too. Look at him; he looks miserable as always. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Justin Ryan is on. He's traveling. He's in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm surprised they allow him in Texas. I heard he has a warrant out. Hopefully, anybody in that area is listening. They can pick that guy up. And thankfully, Steve Santucci, as always, has something to do on Thursday, so it's a little better. All right, so Sully, you are our guest tonight. So how you doing?
All very good, you guys. All good.
Okay, that's what I need to let people know. That unfortunately, Sully might be a little difficult to understand. He is our first Brit to come on for us. All right. We haven't had anybody from overseas just yet. He's our first, right?
Yeah,
I think from what I've seen yet. I'm the only one to be willing up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's late there. So I do appreciate you coming on late.
It's fine. It's fine.
I think if anybody looks at their YouTube settings, there is a closed caption where you might be able to click on to maybe understand what Sully's talking.
No, then it's going to look like they're spelling Welsh.
He has a very, very funny accent, I hear. So what's going on? No, but Sully was a guest on the podcast about 10, 11 episodes ago, and we had a really good time. And where's your tea or brew and the Bicky, right? Where are they?
Brew
was the Bicky.
Got the Bickies, 4-pack of bourbons, best biscuits known to man. You can try arguing with me, but it won't happen.
Excellent. I know that for your YouTube channel, Sully Scale Models, right? Sully Scale Models, right?
That's it, yeah.
Frank, you got to let that scroll around so everybody can see. We're starting to get a bunch of people joining up right now. We see a bunch of guys coming in. But yeah, it's going to fill up like it's been. This has been great. So, so Sully, you have your own YouTube channel, so you are not a stranger to maybe, I don't know if you do live cast, but you're not a stranger to being in front of the camera and talking, right?
Yep, I'm good at talking. It's part of my job as well, so it helps.
Yeah, we're going to have fun tonight. And you're actually Rob Adams' guest technically, so I'm supposed to actually sit back and let him run the show here. But I don't think he's going to be able to do it tonight.
You're not physically possible of letting him do that.
It ain't happening.
It's not physically possible.
Yeah, and physically or mentally possible. I don't know, man.
Yeah, man. I tell you, the mental blocks are there.
Nah, we're going to have a good time. So, Sully, you did supply us with a lot of great photos, so we're going to be able to look at a lot of your work, and you do outstanding work. And yes, your pictures look pretty damn good. I got to break your chops about something here. I can't pat you on the back for everything, you know? But what I do want you to do is, I don't know if people listen to our show that we had you on. I think it was like episode 25 or something, right, Frank? I think Sully was on. But what I do want you to do is I want you to give people a little background about yourself, the hobby, how you do everything, and what gets you going, what you like to build. And then when you're done with that, we're going to start talking about your build and having some fun.
Sweet, yeah. So I know I said it in the last one, but I generally really can't remember very well how I really started. But I vaguely remember my dad built some models. But realistically, at some point I'd started tinkering with something. But basically, my grandparents were the massive driving force of me getting into the hobby. The first model I built on my own was I don't know what year it was, but one of the old, or probably the original Airfix Wellington. which amazingly I still have. It's the only old model I still have in the collection. And yeah, the classics. You know, I stopped modeling. I started back up in 2018 proper. So I probably had about, I don't know, 15-year gap. But that was main. I mean, obviously, driving, girls, not all in the same night. Got in the way for a bit, but it was mainly I needed an airbrush because I wasn't happy with what I was producing at that time with the handbrush stuff. So eventually, just before sort of COVID started kicking off, finally forked out on a cheap-ish air compressor, and that was it. I kind of started the channel roughly about a year-ish after that.
When you knew how to use the airbrush a bit better.
When I knew how to use it, I still don't know how to use it. It's all still guesswork, but I just hope for the best and something produces out of it at the end of it. But yeah, I started doing stuff on Facebook. I had a little Facebook page for a bit, which is still going. And then I did a little video on something, and then somebody asked about if I did YouTube, and I didn't at the time. And I thought, you know what? Why not? Might as well. And that's been it since 2018, really.
That's awesome. Listen, so you do great stuff, and your channel's awesome. You do some really good stuff. And I do want to say, before we get to the pictures, and we talked about this before, that you built a bunch of Airfix stuff, right?
Yeah.
Projects. And you were lucky enough to have four of your projects or finished work displayed at the Airfix Museum, right?
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So Sully has some stuff that's
week
on display. Talk about this.
So, the Airfix headquarters, or Hornby headquarters, I should say, officially, is downright in the south. It's about, from where I live, it's about a 4-hour drive. And I was headed down the other half. I know it's a very long way to go for a tattoo, but the other half was having tattoos by a very particular artist. And I got in touch with Dale, who's the brand manager of Airfix, and says, "Look, I'm coming down. If you fancy meeting up for a coffee and a tea." And
a brew and a bicky?
After the brew and a bicky, there's no bickies. I actually had hot chocolate that day. But when I'm out, I go fancy with the hot chocolate. And after we'd sorted out, what time and where I'm going to meet him, very randomly, sort of within it, he says, just as a thought, do you fancy having some of your builds on display? I'm like, yeah. And that was it. It was very simple, sort of, do you want
So how did you know this guy to start with?
So,
because you're a museum guy too, right?
Well, there's that. I've met him at work. So for those that don't know, I actually work at a museum, an aircraft museum. So I've seen him there a few times because they've come, sort of look at stuff, scanning stuff and tinkering. But Airfix is very present at our biggest model show, which is Telford, up in Shropshire. And thanks to other people, particularly my friend Moz, which, you just get to know people sort of thing. And I've always been, because I've always had about very... I've forgotten the word now. Kind of a complex of being good at what I do, and so yeah, I was surprised he sort of kind of knew who I was, kind of thing, in a way. But then again, he said that's my job. So, but yeah, he just sort of, just basically outright asked if I mind a few pieces and displaying them. I was like,
that's thick glass on that case. They're pretty safe.
Yeah, it took two of them to lift it. It was quite
I believe it, yeah.
precarious.
That's great. I mean, that's an honor right there to have your work displayed there, though.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I've had a piece, which we'll talk about later, but I've had a piece in one of the Airfix Club magazine articles. So that was the first, like, sort of, for me, like, kind of like big win sort of thing in my life, of list of little things I want to try and achieve throughout, like, my modelling career, if you like. And I was quite happy to be any kind of magazine, small or whatever. But Airfix had asked, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna say no at that. And then the same with this, I mean, it's boosted me sort of morale on it a little bit more as well, like, confidence. Sorry, not morale. Sorry, my confidence on it. So
here you go.
So yeah.
No,
You're all
this
right.
is
You're all
great.
right.
This is great stuff. This is a great honor to have your stuff
Oh,
on display there. So
Nothing I'd ever think would ever happen. You know,
no,
I mean, I know my stuff has been recognised with other people, like, but to actually have the brands that I've made their models and they're going, "Do you want it in the museum?"
no, that's
That's
You know
fantastic.
what I mean? It's
how long's it
You
staying
know.
there for? Forever? Is that the
until they want to
idea?
get rid of it.
Yeah.
Basically, it is loan. I says you're more likely to ask me to move them than I am to ask you from back.
Right.
Because
yeah.
I'm getting now to the point where I don't have a stash issue, I have a finished build issue, and stuff's
Right.
starting to end up in the loft. So
Right.
I need
Yeah.
to start. I might have. I get a bit attached to. I'm still quite attached to a lot of them, so I'm a bit begrudgingly thinking about getting rid of them. But I'm going to have to at some point because
I'm usually detached the moment I drop my brush. Fuck you. I'm done.
No,
Take it to
I
the shows,
get,
and then it's over. On to the
I'm
next
usually
one.
one that's you know when you finish your build and that's your best build.
Yeah, I know,
a
but
bit
and
like-
you
you know,
put
it's
you put
like
a
that,
lot of
but-
extra effort and details and things.
A little bit too much sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I can see how you get attached. I'm more of an out of box guy, so it's just boom done. Well,
No, you
details
do a
big
lot
thing.
of work. Someone had mentioned, some said that you were a great builder. In the comments, which you are, you definitely do some great work. I think Steve C asked if you were from Binghamton. Are you from Birmingham?
Birmingham. Yeah.
Binghamton's in New York.
We call
Birmingham.
it. It's not. You say Birmingham.
It's Birmingham.
That's it. We replace
Birmingham.
the A with the U.
All right, are you from
Birmingham.
Birmingham?
Birmingham.
Whatever. It's fucking England. I'm over
Don't
here.
worry, don't worry, Sully. I'm providing the translation services for tonight.
Nice.
By the way, axe means ask.
Right.
Axe, ask.
All right, Frankie. Let's get. What do you
This
want?
will be the issue. It's more terminology that we're going to have problems with than anything else.
So on your list of things that
Oh.
you wanted to accomplish in your modeling career, coming on here was one of them, right?
I know you're taking the piss, but generally it was.
Oh, no, we had a great time on the
no,
podcast. We had a good time.
It was
That's what I
a
mean.
massive honor. It was a massive honor in the first place to be invited on the cast, and then to be back invited on here as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking generally. I'm not even taking the piss.
We had to read. We had to
Generally,
All right,
read
high
our,
fives, man. High
We had to
fives.
reach our UK quota, so we figured, fuck it, we'll have you on twice. Then we just killed two birds with one stone, or vice versa, one stone with whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those nights. I'm having a Rob Adams moment right now.
Take
All
it
right,
easy.
so let's
can't
talk
wait.
about some of your builds, Frankie. Right? Let's get some. Which one do we want to start off with first? So
Well,
this is
let's start off with the Chipmunk.
The Chipmunk. So the Chipmunk is where everything sort of started with my extremely heavily weathering, if you like. So when I bought the kit, there was a small crack in the windscreen, not the rear windscreen.
right. You had said this on the podcast.
You
yeah.
might be able to sort of see it.
do.
That back quarter window, there's a little white speck at the bottom. Maybe.
Oh, I
where
was
spine
seeing the thing
meets.
on the side.
It's very tiny. It's very small.
I see it. I do see it on the rear window,
Yeah.
back bottom right. I see it a little bit.
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah. It in person, it looked really bad. And I'd asked them if they got replacement. They said they hadn't got one. So I was like, sweet, I'm gonna have to make it work. Originally, I was gonna make a tarpaulin to go over it. So I was gonna use green stuff, which I've used green stuff, but I've never done it so when you can roll it out really, really thin.
Right.
If you use baby powder, you can roll it out without it sticking to anything. You can get it into like
Paper
thousands of thickness, yeah. And I was thinking, well, I've not done it before, and if it goes wrong, I don't want it to look shit, basically. So I was
Right.
thinking, right, think of plan B.
Mhm.
I thought, well, I suppose it could have been restored. And the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. And that's what I ended up with, basically. So,
Yeah, I understand that, but I want to ask you a question here, Sully.
Hmm?
The weathering on this, I love how you did this. The yellow bands on the wings, also is that like the darker color, more like a black color on the front? How did you
Yeah.
achieve those effects? That's what I would want to know. Like, did you do like
Chipping fluid.
masking or chipping fluid?
no, chipping fluid. So,
Really?
fortunately, that's probably 80% of any build I do is research and looking up sort of real life examples of stuff, and I'd
Mhm.
seen with the yellow banding, it was white underneath when it faded. So there was a mix of sort of like a chipping and sort of rubbing type thing.
Mhm.
The engine cowl, so as you know water reactivates the stuff. So if you put a fairly thin coat, well, it depends how many thicker coat you put down. Will actually depend on
What's the paint
how
you're
it will
using
chip.
first? That's really important too, though. So.
Tamiya.
Are you using
All
this
my
is
s-
to me
All
acrylic?
my spray, yeah, all
The
my
X,
spray, all my
okay.
spray stuff, yeah, all my spray paint stuff is Tamiya. I don't use anything else because
Wow.
I
Okay.
can't be bothered to sort of faff around getting other stuff and different thinners and all that sort of stuff.
I'm with
So-
you, man. I'm a Tamiya
So,
guy.
so if you put a fairly thin layer on, you get quite a nice sort of blending chip. If that makes sense. So you get the sort of finer specklings, and it kind of like blends into the sort of the center area where it just sort of disappears altogether. The nose cowling, I pretty much used a toothpick for most of that, sort of scratching it. Mix of toothpicks and a brush, relatively stiff brush.
Okay.
And that's sort of that's where I come up with that.
So when you lay down your chipping fluid, are you doing like a coat between the paint and the chipping fluid, like a matte or a gloss or semi-gloss?
No.
Right over the
I
paint?
don't. Varnish doesn't come until a lot later on.
Really? No varnish
yeah.
at all when you're doing the chipping or anything?
No. So there's probably 2 to 3 layers of. I think I generally use AKs. I think that one would have been an AK one. So I think it was I can't remember what they called it now, but I think it's like a medium chipping. I think because they've actually got different variations.
Yeah, I've
Right,
got
they
the
have like
heavy
the
stuff.
heavy chipping and like the
yeah, that's
scratches
it.
effects.
That's it. I think mine's the sort of lesser version of that. The whatever one they call it. I can't remember what they call it.
Right. It's one of them.
So there's about 3. I think there's probably 3 layers of that, and then a very thin layer of yellow. Left that for a little couple of hours, and then.
Oh, you let it dry over the chipping fluid. You let the paint that you're going to chip dry for a few hours before you start chipping it.
Yeah, well, it's probably
Interesting.
about an hour, if that. Because
All right.
Tamiya dries quite quickly, and I'm quite
Right.
happy to just go at it. And sometimes that kind of depends on what the effect that you want. That can work, but of course with chipping fluid, it's you don't know what you're going to get out of it, which is what I quite like, which I think makes it even more natural because you don't know what actually you're gonna get. You
Right.
can kind of guide it in the right direction, but what you actually end up with might not be what you thought of.
Yeah, I'd rather have it come off smaller than bigger, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Then you
definitely.
can-
Yeah. Unless that's something you
Right.
obviously wanted. If you because I did a rusted out car the once, and sometimes you do want larger areas of that coming off, so that's fine for that. But for something like this one, you only want just a little bit, flaking off basically on that one. So,
and then when you after your chipping is done, then you varnish it so it doesn't chip any more than it's already had.
So when I was doing, I've changed how I changed how I varnish. I've changed what varnishes I use now. So normally at that point, so that would have got after doing all the paint, gloss varnish would have gone down for decals and then everything else. Well, I'd have done the decals, then there would have been another varnish over the decals to seal it all in, and then it will be on to the every other effect. But I've now moved from gloss to satin because that I find that's a nice medium that between the two of being able to push the because I've changed how I would do from these to some of the later ones, but I was using enamels for all the weathering on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I've now moved to oils instead.
Okay.
Both pretty much exactly the same in a roundabout way.
Yeah, they're not much different, really.
No, but I'm just using like actual artist oils now rather than the pre-mix sort of stuff. So it just makes it easy to move, but it also sort of clings to the areas as well. So you get a nice
too glossy. You're not getting. It's gonna.
Yeah, it's not gonna. It just smears around. Yeah.
If you want to do pin washing, I can understand the gloss coats, like the gloss coats. If you want to do pin washing around details, but when you want to use like other types of weathering products, you got to go either a semi or a matte coat. I think.
Yeah.
Definitely. I used to go gloss decals, gloss flat weather. That's how I used to do it, but I don't do that anymore either.
Yeah.
Too many gloss coats, man, or too many clear coats. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any more Frankie over here with this guy?
Oh,
Well, this
yeah.
is one that Sully
So-
sent out. So this is about the chipmunk specifically. Right?
I was wondering why you're putting up a text message for.
Yeah. So
What is it?
when I'd done this model, thanks to another friend of mine, Stu, he'd spoken to the guy that does the on the bench articles on the website,
Okay.
and he really enjoyed the chipmunk, so he got in touch. To do a little piece on the model, and did all that. Didn't think anything else of it after that. Was well chuffed.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
this
another-
is that text you got from somebody or
Yeah.
whatever.
So
I remember this.
that went up on the website. I forgot all about it until a friend texted me saying, "You've pissed a lot of people off," and I could see a link. So instantly I knew exactly what he was going on about. So scroll down to the comment section, which is always the best thing to go through. It was very mixed, admittedly. It was very mixed bag. So you got a lot of people that really enjoyed it. You got the people in the middle that it's not their thing, but they can appreciate what I've done. And the people that just absolutely hated it. And this one is like literally the best comment I've ever had. Even compared to the one saying, I've done the most fantastic jobs. This is the best one. So since that comment, that chipmunk has always been known as the abortion. Right.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because the thing that cracks me up, the thing that really cracks me up, because obviously saying he prefers his models to be, accurate. Well, weirdly enough, weathering is accurate because
Right.
aircraft don't stay clean. Even
No.
the cleanest aircraft aren't clean.
No.
I mean, if you go, you go on an aeroplane, normal passenger airliner, from a distance, they look immaculate. You sit on that seat next to the wing, and the absolute crap that's running down that wing. It just cracked me up just for that
Right.
reason. It's like, well, you just
But
contradicting
you don't know who
yourself.
this person was who wrote this stuff.
I did because I don't want to be that dick that tells the world who. I'm not, because I don't want people giving him shit for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, he deserves it. Don't get me wrong. I
Right.
kind of wish I still knew what his name was, because now I could go back to him saying, "Look, not only did they put an article on me, it's now on display at Airfix. So screw you." I could
That's
do that, but but yeah. So ever since then, that's been known as the abortion. But it's
That's
also
great.
been known as the whole bird's nest thing, because if you'd seen in the engine bay, I'd actually made a little nest in there with some eggs.
Yeah, I remember you telling us
just
about
to sell
that.
the
That was
effect. That's it.
hysterical.
There you go. They used some. What was
That's
it?
awesome. So that's a nest, a bird's nest in
seagrass.
there.
Yeah, some AK seagrass.
So
and,
all this grime in the middle of those panels, what are you doing?
That's all AK's. I think it was moss deposits.
Inside
used
the
for that
panels, inside those panels, really?
Oh yeah. The
Blended
whole
in.
thing basically got caked in that. Pretty
And
much.
he's blended in,
Yeah.
right? Just feather out the edges.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Really good, man. This is, I mean, if you want to see something that's realistic, man, that's freaking ultra realistic right there.
I do my best.
I mean,
If you
it's
if
crazy.
you look on the wings as well, there's like little bits of tape, which I assume you lot probably call it the same way, but it's speed tape. So if you've got any
got
like
that, Frank?
panels,
Yeah, I'll pull one up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
so if you've got any like panels that are the seal's gone on them, and the water starts to ingress, they use speed tape to because aluminium foil basically will stick you back.
I see that.
And because that back half of the wing is actually all fabric,
Okay.
and obviously over time left outside, you're going to get holes in the wings. The one thing I should have done, which somebody told me afterwards, which was a useful comment, was I should have put some sag in that fabric, which was useful. I mean, next time I do
Right.
something like with a fabric wing, I will attempt to do something like that.
You know, this would be like, okay, we were just at the IPMS Nationals, which looking at the planes was amazing to see what was there. none of them were filthy like this to look like this. Like this would
Very few
stand out
people.
at a show like that because it's so different and so original in my opinion. It looks so real. Like, Frankie, put that back up. Like the weathering on those, like on the wings, it just seems like it's so random that like it looks natural. Like it's
Yeah,
the
there was-
randomness to it is just very
There
natural.
was some chipping fluid on that actually. That's why it's a bit patchy up that end. I did actually put some chip. I tried using some chipping fluid on
And
it.
what'd you do with the chipping fluid on the wings? How'd you do this?
Exactly the same.
Like
But I
you were
used the
doing like
finish.
a lighter color of the chrome or something?
No, that's I did the silver, and then that's the enamel wash over the top of it.
So you were chipping the enamel wash?
Yeah, I forgot. To be honest with you, I've forgotten how I did it. To be honest with you,
Wow, interesting.
The thing-
Okay.
when I was building this thing is when I was doing this build, I was sort of between houses, and I was trying to do a video, trying to do the build and move at the same time. The only problem, the thing that really brasses me off with this one is that I haven't actually got an actual video on this build
Okay.
because I did so badly because I thought I was filming it and I wasn't. It's really annoying because it's the only one that hasn't really got a dedicated video. So it ended up being I did do a comments video for just a bit of a laugh, and
No,
they
this is
used
really
that in the
good.
middle of
Really,
it.
really good.
So,
What do we got
but
next?
I try
Frank?
and do some as different as like you said. I try. It's difficult to be different in a way. I
Right.
try and do things that because if you had 10 people build that model in that exact same marking,
Mhm.
effectively they're all going to be the same. Slightly different styles, but they're all going to be the same.
Sound like me, Sully. We should go bowling together. That's what I say all the time, right,
Yeah.
Frank? You got
Right.
to do something that's going to make you stand out. If you build the same model, you want it to be different than the other person's. We go in any way you can, right? Now this is really awesome. What is this here?
So that's the Seeking, the Western Seeking, again, Airfix one. I love this. I'm not a big helicopter guy, but I love the Seeking. And when we used to go down to the southwest, well, when we go down to the southwest, there's a station, Royal Navy station, that used to fly them for air sea rescue, and see them all the time. Absolutely loved them. Loved that scheme. When this comes out, it's actually one of only a few aircraft that I've actually, or models, sorry, I should say, that I've actually pre-ordered. And I was tossing and turning on how I actually wanted to do it because the Seeking in particular has got a very iconic weathering down the side of the fuselage from the exhaust and the downwash. So I wasn't quite sure whether I wanted to do it as an operation or do it as a aircraft just about to be just completely wrecked and dismantled. And so I put it out to a vote because I couldn't really decide. I was going to be happy either which way it went, and it was a very, very tight very tight scoring, and it was actually the in operation that had won it. But another friend suggested, "Why don't you turn it into a chicken coop?" That was it. I was sold on that.
Right. I love these little small details
So
you add to this.
I had somebody 3D print me those because I've got a printer yet. Because obviously I needed the chickens because otherwise it wouldn't make all that much sense if I didn't have them in there.
But it's those are little details that make a difference right there.
Yeah. So
Did you do-
even internally, sorry, go on.
I'm guessing you have some chicken shit somewhere, like scattered somewhere in there.
Yeah, you can just about, you could barely see the little white spots in the background. I've done a little, I did a little, what do they call them? Anybody that has chickens will know, little like a resting perch sort of thing. In the background, there's the sort of like the beds.
That
if
is
you
so
like.
cool, Sully. This is really, really good.
So I had to go do a lot of searching to figure out how chicken coops are populated with stuff. And I found whatever bits I could. So you've got like the sort of like the nesting boxes, and there was the sort of the bit that they sort of perch on. There's that mesh bit there. Was there actually a door into the back, which I haven't got a good angle of it, but as you can see, I've lit it up as well. I'll put a red light in the back, so it's like for like new chicks and stuff like that kind of thing. A heating area sort of thing.
Incubation.
That's the
area.
one. That's the one.
You got you put an incubation thing in there.
Pretty much, yeah. I didn't know what to do with the back bits. I thought, I'll just do that. It'd be fine. Because at that, I mean, I still am, but I was still figuring out how to do lighting. The back, or you could sort of see at the back there, the little bit of red in the back left corner. That was it.
How was it building this kit? How was the build?
Absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
It was so the inner fuselage area, so like the cockpit and the main, I'll call it the hold for lack of a proper word, was basically like its own little pod, and then the main fuselage clamped around it, which left quite a lot of room for wiring. Fortunately, I didn't have to do any real modification to get the wires around it. So they run kind of basically along between the roof of this pod and the roof of the fuselage, and it sort of runs down the back and underneath the aircraft, and it's just run on a 3-volt watch battery, which doesn't last because the red light takes up too much power from it. Because I still don't understand how to use diodes and stuff. I understand the formula for it, I just can't work it out for love nor money.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm just doing stuff because all I really need them for is, as long as they can last for the shots and potentially, like a 6-hour show. That's all I need them for. After that, doesn't really matter because they'll never go on otherwise.
Our buddy Craig had said, very cool and different. Just don't see a helicopter chicken coop every day, which is true.
Well, that's just it. Yeah, I tried to find one, couldn't find one. I could find plenty of buses, old school American buses, school buses, but I could not find a helicopter.
Our buddy Tim said the same thing. That was a great idea for a dial, and it is.
Well, most people don't have helicopters in their backyard.
Right.
That's true. Yeah. Over here, what we do have is they're called glamping pods. Posh camping, basically, with all the fancy gear. So there's a couple of Sea Kings, I think it's up north in sort of Scotland way, and there's a few that have converted them into these glamping pods, which is potentially another opportunity to do something with them. But it's all pretty much accurate. All the blanking of the serial, not the serial, but the Royal Navy and all that sort of stuff is.
I want to ask you about the paint on that sucker. Like, what was your paint on the helicopter now? What, that the Tamiya too? All
Tamiya. It's all Tamiya. Everything's Tamiya.
And you mixing your own colors too? You mixing to get other colors? Things?
Pretty much, yeah. Much, yeah.
Excellent, excellent job. And those are decals, all decals, or
yes,
all water slide.
All I had to do with that is the registration, the aircraft registration, which is an actual registration. I forgot what the original one is, but I had to turn a couple of the numbers around just to get them to fit so they were right. Because I know what I tell you why it was, because the front cab, there's about like 2 variations of it, if you like, with the red. So you got the one which I've done, and then there's another one where the cockpit framework's actually still grey, which I think's an earlier version. I think, if I remember rightly. But that's was an actual aircraft, but wasn't actually used as a chicken coop, obviously.
And you scratch built those little ramps, right, to make wood, little sheet styrene.
Yeah,
you did a very good job, very convincing too. In there, it looks great.
Wire brush.
Yeah,
wire
make
brush.
A little wood grain.
Clean it up. Give it give a gun over, and then some Tamiya extra thin just to get off all the swath and tidy it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, wire brushes are. People don't realize when you want to simulate wood grain on styrene too. A razor saw, straight down, and it gives some of the nice, subtle, very nice little wood grain to your. You'll turn sheet plastic into wood in a second.
Yeah, easy.
So that's excellent. So what do we got? This figure next, Frankie?
Yes, sir.
Let's see that sucker. Sully's got good. What is this here? What are we looking at?
I'll be honest with you, no idea what it is. I found it.
So you just fucking had it? You're like, fuck,
just had it. I thought it was a cool one. It's actually one of my crappiest sort of performing videos. Got about 811 views. That has. I did that about 8 months ago. It's always the ones that you put a lot more effort in that never do very well. But I just felt like I wanted to sort of like do a figure or like a robot, so I could do all my chipping and my rust, which I love doing. And I was trying out AliExpress, and I come across him, and I thought he'll do. It's a cast resin figure. So there was a little bit of clean up on it, but nothing too mental on it. And it was just basically have fun type builds, chipping and scratching, and which are the things I just absolutely love doing.
Rob is asking, did Tamiya paint on this too?
The base color, the sort of that creamy color was Tamiya. Everything else is Vallejo.
What's the scale? What's the scale on this guy? Do you know?
Oh, I don't, but he's probably about
Use your hands. How big is he?
10 inches ish.
Frankie hasn't seen 10 inches in a long time, Frank.
So it's like
That's-
12 scale,
That's 5. So
12 or
Yeah,
12
probably.
or
Yeah,
9.
probably around. Yeah, it's probably at 12. I think 12 is probably about right. I think. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Give or
see,
take.
it's 10 inches for the show, but when he tells his wife, "No, honey, that's that's a foot and a half." Foot and a half.
Yeah.
I did that at home. My wife thinks the house is 146,000 square feet because I lie a lot. So
Now this is great. So this is not your first big. This you've done these before, obviously bigger figures. To me, this looks like a cross between like a Warhammer-ish type, like a cover, right?
Kind
Rob?
of. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a Jason the Argonaut type sort of thing, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, this is very well done.
But yeah, it's just something I like. Because I just love doing chips, rust stains, and all that sort of stuff.
Look at
So
this.
most of it was sponge chipped.
Okay, sponge chipping.
first.
And you used Tamiya
especially-
paint for the sponge chipping, not for
No,
Vallejo?
that-
or anything?
everything else was Vallejo. If I
I
do
was
any
gonna say,
sort
okay.
of like hand painted stuff like this, apart from the base color, everything else is all Vallejo. It's the only thing I like brush painting with, basically.
The weathering on his X, I mean, it's very random. Like even like the cape or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that. How did you get the
That
effect
was-
on that? Like washes, the storm washes in there.
Yeah, it was a weird one because it's one of those things, you know, when you just do a thing and it looks shit, and then all of a sudden it looks really good, and you're
Yeah.
not sure how you got there.
dry brushing the high
It's-
points.
There was dry brushing, about half a dozen different washes. I was just throwing stuff out because I know this sounds really really stupid because another Games Workshop model I've done is I don't know how to paint in color. I know how to do military stuff, but anything that involves actual color, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. Our buddy Brian busting balls here about the mission models painting. Knows I hate it.
I have actually and never used it again.
Thank you. See,
Absolutely
Brian,
hated
Sully hated it.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Mission Models paint still around? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it for a long time, actually. No.
I think they're gone, bro. You and Frankie Blanton better get together and try to buy the remaining stock. Right, Rob?
I got a bunch.
Oof, terrible.
The tree in that's an actual twig.
Did the twig too?
It's an
Dude,
actual
I love that
twig,
you
yeah.
add these bases. Even the bases just fit. It just blends right into the figure like it's meant to be there. Right,
That
Frankie?
took a few goes. That did take a few goes. Originally, it was sort of like an orange Martian type sort of thing, and it didn't look good. So I just threw some of the colours on it, and it ended up, again. It just ended up like that.
No,
was
I
happy
think that it
with
looks
so
good
I
because
left
it's blend. It actually adds a nice it's complete like that. Like
Yeah.
it's not like you took them, put them on a base, and it's like you look like you made sure that like blended and everything was the same
Yeah,
kind of
so
contrast and color.
There's a lot. It's XPS bulk of the base, and then I've used a mix of slate stone and natural cork chunks,
Mhm.
and then blend them in with VMS Smart Putty.
Okay, how do you like that? Good.
I think it's really good. Yeah.
I heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
really good
tried
stuff.
it before, but
It you really need to force it into to what you want it to go on. It
Right.
sort of has a little bit of a trouble sticking, but once it starts sticking, it's pretty good. It's very hard to sort of pierce through as well afterwards. I've tried drilling through it a few times.
oh wow, it gets really nice.
It
and
kind of
hard, huh?
bounces back. I think I'm guessing. I don't really know what's in it, but it's like if you put a very thick layer of PVA glue or Mod Podge down. It's very springy when you try and put a hole into it. It's very tough stuff, though.
See, even Tim,
I've used.
see, Brian, even Tim Berg, our buddy Tim, says about the the Mission Models paint garbage. What do we got next, Frankie? Come on, we're having a good time here. Frankie's slacking. Look at him. He's just he's slowing down. What are we
The
looking
Mary
at here?
Gannet.
This
Yeah.
is the Gannet that I hear so
This
much
is
about.
the
Yeah.
Gannet, yeah.
The
This
fairy
is
Gannet.
my favourite build I've done. A lot of people argue it's the chicken coop, but this one's like, if you like, my masterpiece. If you want,
So you're still attached to this one then?
it's here. I wouldn't let him have it. I couldn't let him have that one.
Oh, they
Still-
wanted that too, and you couldn't put it at Airfix?
Well, they didn't really wasn't very specific on what they wanted, but I'll bring it so you can have a gulp at it, but you can't have it.
Is this the
But
real
that's
thing?
the
or-
actual. That's
I
the
was going to
actual
say, holy
aircraft.
shit!
Yeah.
Yours, I thought this was yours and was Photoshop of background.
No, it was based off that actual.
Wow.
airframe.
Okay. Well, we got to talk a lot about this because I think a lot of people
So-
that are watching are going to really like it. I want to
Yeah,
know.
so that was stored for a very long time between two hangars. I can't remember where it was, but as you can see, like the canopy has been smashed in.
Mhm.
The front quarter panel has just disappeared. The wing on this side, because it's obviously with the Gannet, it's got a very iconic Z collapsing wing. And
This is the real thing too, right here.
It's the same one. That's the same one on a better day. We don't get many Sundays. But normally
Yeah,
the
Dwayne's saying
struts,
too. Look at this. Yeah.
but there's normally struts that support the wings, and obviously over time they haven't been there, and that one wing is sagged, and they've all collapsed, and they've actually used a ratchet strap to hold it up.
Okay.
So I've pretty much copied that. The damage on the right hand side of the wing. There you go. The string, which the blue rope, which I used, just some wire, electrical wire, which is just braided up a little bit, and you can see the strap, which is just Tamiya tape. And I had got another friend to 3D print me the ratchet strap, the working part of the ratchet strap, I should say.
I mean, talk about inspiration. This is a great example of having a reference picture or maybe seeing this in person. I don't know if you saw this in person, right? Did you see this in person?
No. I'd seen it a long time ago on the internet somewhere, and when they announced this, I was like, I know exactly what that's going to be looking like when I get it.
Right. This is
So
definitely like amazing to the reference.
I think
Wayne's asking, what was your total build time on something like this?
I'll be very honest with you, I could not tell you. Very lucky I get a lot of bench time. So basically every time I come out for a smoke, I have a tinker. But I think I finished that.
Tinker. Whoa. Time out. It's fuck. I don't know. I don't know what the lingo is over there.
That lingo makes sense. That lingo makes sense.
You mean take a
He fucks
piss?
around. He fucks around with it.
Oh, tinker.
Tinker.
Ah, okay. Well, it's
Tinker
fuck, we
around.
have a big. We speak in English, but we also speak very differently.
Yeah.
Right, Frank?
I speak English where English is from. Remember that.
Right. I'm speaking fucking slang English, or whatever you want to call it, from Long Island.
You're
Bless
speaking
you.
English where English went. That's your problem.
Listen,
Yeah,
I want
basically.
to know how you did some of this shit. I want to learn a little bit
Yeah.
because this is actually amazing, and I do agree. This is top notch. I want to know like the build, how the build went. I want to know what the paint you used and the effects that you did. And got to this
Yeah.
point.
So
Name, rank, serial number.
Yeah, I
Holy
do.
shit.
yeah.
Because this is outstanding.
So 1 second.
This guy's coughing,
So-
man. We don't edit. This is not a YouTube video where you can
I
edit.
know.
It's live. Rob, we got to vet a little better for this guy coming on the show.
Sorry.
It's too much smoking, not enough drinking. Wetting the whistle.
I'm only kidding. See, now this is live. This would have been an edit
I
if it was a
know. I
podcast.
know. So yeah, and obviously it's another Airfix one.
Right.
The fit of this one was so good. You could literally put the model together and it will sit together. without
Really?
glue.
Airfix.
Yeah. The wings.
Hand on the Bible. You're going to tell me that this thing fit perfect.
Yeah. There
He's
was
not the
nothing I had
first
to do.
one.
There's
I have
the
a friend who
classic.
did this kit, so same thing, Sully. He said the
Yeah,
same
the
thing.
classic thing of cleaning up seam lines as you would normally
Mhm.
was it. The wings aren't even glued on.
Right. Oh, they're not. You're just placing them
No.
up and shit.
That's well, it's not strictly true. The top layer I had to glue because of the positioning,
Right.
but the main wings themselves and even the tail plane, even the little sort of stabilizers, none of that's glued into place
So
at
okay,
all.
this is the question I'm going to ask you when it comes to this. Obviously, I'm not a plane guy, so all these particular planes to have this fairy gannets, are they all painted the same or different?
Mostly in that scheme.
So
there are
you knew going in what paints you would need to get to that for the base coats. Like you didn't have to test things out. You knew right away these are the colors I need for this.
kind of.
Okay.
There was a little bit of both. I knew what I kind of needed and how to get there, but
Okay.
there was a little bit of testing because there's actually two different colors on that blue. Because you might be able to just about see it. I've done a chipping layer on this one as well. So there was a darker blue. I think it's, yes, I'll call it blue. It's probably more technically sea grey, but darker
Okay.
blue, a chipping layer, and then a lightened version of that blue with, I think he used deck tan probably, which is usually what I usually tend to lighten things up with. And then it says between those two layers is a layer of chipping fluid because you could see it on the actual aircraft that these, like this sort of modular blue tones. It's really
can see
weird.
it,
I can't really. I don't know how to really explain it, but you just see little bits of dark and light blues, splattered all over it.
Yeah, it's pretty visible, and this is the shot of the dorsal here. Like it's by the canopy, and you can see that marbling effect that you've got going.
That's
Right.
marbling. That's probably the best one for it. Yeah.
So are you doing a marbling thing as like a primer coat? Like are you priming on black and then do your colors? Or are you white or no primer? Or do you
No, it's
what do you do?
always black primer. Always
Oh,
black
you're
primer.
working off of black and no white on top of that to lighten things up. Just black, just straight black, and then put your color on. Or are you doing any?
I think I might.
White?
No, I think I might have done with that one. I do usually tend to do like the black basing, so you get the white marble in between the panels. But I can guarantee every time I put a top layer coat on, you don't see it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Rob Adams is like, no, I do it. I'm like, dude, it's like a waste of time.
So
it totally works, man.
Yeah, I've with the Hurricane, I've actually managed to for the first time ever pretty much get it right. But with this one, it was. I think I did do a black base on it. Thinking about it, if you watch the video, it'll tell you.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah. Wow,
but,
look at that. That's great.
But there was, it was for the blue, it was just a dark blue chipping fluid, which I actually left, I think, over a day before I actually put a top coat on it. I think that's just the way it worked out, which made it very difficult for it to move, but actually worked in favour for the build.
Yeah,
and that was just
keeps it smaller.
Basically it was a proper happy accident, basically.
Did you ever think about doing this on a diorama base with that corrugated rusted fencing next to it too, like in that picture?
Yeah, so there is actually a base for it. I don't think it's any of the ones that I've sent, but it was a very simple sort of, because I actually managed to find a bloke that had actually took those photos, and he had more photos of it. And basically, it was in a very sort of simple, sort of grassed area at the time, and you could see there was a few lengths of railway sleepers, which it sat on. And there was a couple of blocks underneath all the undercarriage just to keep the wheels off the ground. I did do that, but that was more of an afterthought. So it's not in the video or anything like that. It was an afterthought thing. That was.
I love that. Like how go back to the last picture, Frank, where you got the grime on that middle level right there, the grime on top.
Yeah,
it looks like it's like natural, like it's meant to be there.
There's his moss again.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
No, well, yeah. There's a mix of a kind of like a blacky brown enamel, and I did use AK moss for that one. So basically, it was several layers of stippling.
Stippling it on, let it dry, then go again.
Pretty much, yeah. It was kind of like thinnish layers. In some layers, I kind of not flooded it, but put quite a bit of enamel. No, it wasn't enamel thinners, or was you? It was enamel thinners, and then stippled it on, so it also mixed with the lower level at times as well. So it actually blended it a little bit better, made it look a bit more right. Well, to me, it looked right anyway. But again, because I had the right photos, I could see where the larger areas or thick areas needed to be of it. So particularly on that sort of vertical surface there was a lot heavier than anywhere else, because you obviously get it running off the top wing onto that wing as well.
Right. The little runoff. Yeah. Wow. It's...
And then there was a little bit of I used really light bit of yellow oil paints and flicked it off an old airbrush needle, and that will give you like the moss liching, the little spots that you get when you get moss areas.
To do the cloudiness or the glass canopy. How did you get that effect?
that was a lot of trialing. That was
super glue vapors.
That was the original plan. But it didn't work very well. It sort of stuck to one area.
No.
So what I actually did is I actually airbrushed it. So it's very, very thin, multi-layered coats of I think it was like
a buff color.
I think I used buff and a bit of white.
Yeah. Okay.
And I may have put a very light layer of green on beforehand.
And you're doing it from the inside, not the outside.
On the inside.
The inside. Yeah, because you can. It really looks like it's right, Frankie. Like that, it's just old and grimed and dirty and
dusty and
dusty.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's the thing when people do these sort of things is that they forget the plexiglass fogs quite badly over a period of time outside. So it's also quite a good one to add if you can. It's not the easiest things, I'll admit, because I actually do use because all my thinner I always use now is Mr. Leveling thinner, and it is obviously very aggressive. I mean, thinner's aggressive anyway, but Mr. Leveling thinner is very aggressive. So it was a mixed cut of a little bit of thinner, a little bit of matte varnish,
okay,
and then the paint. All mixed in, but very light layers. You have to do a little bit, which basically look like you've done nothing to it.
Right.
Just keep layering it up.
Don't I was going to ask, when you're doing your weathering layers, because you're doing a lot on something like this.
Yeah.
Right. How long are you allowing these layers to dry before you're going back in? Because you're going to reactivate it.
Yeah, not long.
You within the same paint sessions?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was done. That one was done over 2 days, but I did do a lot of layering on each day.
Okay.
But again, particularly with this one, because I kind of did it. It was kind of accidental the way I did it, because as I did the sort of the brown layer, I think I actually used. No, I didn't. I made my own. I used Winsor & Newton's. Is it burnt umber, which is the darker brown? Was it raw umber?
I think dark
burnt umber.
Which more brown? Yeah, I think the raw umber is more brown.
It's
right?
raw umber it's raw umber.
I think burnt is more reddish, right? Is that me, Frank?
Yeah,
right?
That's it. That's right. Yeah. And a little bit of black. And if you can get the consistency right, it's very much similar to Tamiya's accent panel liner, which is what I used to use all the time. Right. So I did that layer first, and then I put the AK moss deposits on. I think I'd probably left it about half an hour.
Wow.
When I went in, it did mix. It did mix, but that actually worked for us in the end. Because I personally find when I use actual oils, because I assume everybody else does the same, but put it on a bit of carb to get the linseed oil out, almost the linseed oil out. And I tend to find doing that means you can actually work quicker with it without needing to leave it overnight or even use a hairdryer or something to dry it out. I can do within a couple of hours. I can do several things on top of each other.
Try the Ad Tai Lung oils. Ad Tai Lung 502.
I have got some of those. I've got a few of those, mainly the rust ones.
They're a little drier too, right? You can work
Yeah,
them a little bit.
I still do the same with them. I still put them on a bit of card because the couple
Yeah.
of the ones I've got are very wet, particularly the rust ones. But yeah, they do work a bit. You can use them a bit quicker without
Nice.
needing to leave them overnight.
Right.
It kind of depends on how thick a layer you put on it as well,
Right.
really. But the one challenge, if you put up one with the wing that's got the bit of rope over the top of it, that was the biggest challenge out of the whole thing, funnily enough, because there's a massive dent in the wing.
On the other side
If
up
you've got
top. Right?
if you've got the front side of it, sorry.
Yep. Give me a sec.
Right.
I'll call it up.
So on the actual one, the port side wing has got a massive dent either side of the landing light, and I obviously need to figure out that's it. So basically, what I had to do was cut a massive chunk either side of it out of the plastic, and use copper foil to bend over, super glued in, bend it over, and then basically just push my finger into it to get those creases.
Looks convincing though.
I've not done it since, but I was very, very happy with that one.
Wow,
It's just
that's
making
excellent.
sure it's just making sure you can't with it actually. I never noticed before, but you can actually sort of see where I've blended it in. Realistically, what I should have done is done the whole panel, shaved down the whole panel a little bit, so it was all one big bit of foil, and then forced it in that way. But
You
was still
learn
happy
as you
with
go, though, man.
well, exactly. I've never done it since, but it was weird because I actually saw I think he must have been like this kid that must have been about like 12 that had done a B24 with massive chunks of panel that he's cut out and put copper foil in and done all the flat damage, and it was really convincing as well. You know, all the little shrapnel damage and stuff like that. It was absolutely fantastic. And I've wanted to try it out, but that was weirdly I chose the more difficult surface to do it on, which is a curved one rather than the flat one.
Frankie, why don't we go to something that's more important, like his King Tiger, and he's got a nice Sherman.
Because that was next.
You mean something heavy?
Yeah, let's talk armor right now. This is now I can get into this conversation because I remember when you were building this, and I think you ask me some questions. Sully, did you send me a message asking me about this kit? I think because I had done this for military modelcraft, and I had built it early on, and I think that this is the upgraded kit, right?
No, this is the standard one.
Oh, this is the standard. All right, but
yeah, but I was
upgraded one.
I was given that one. I was actually given that one. So this is that is a pre-release one.
Oh, okay.
So my friend Nigel from Nigel's Modeling Workbench.
Yeah, we know.
He'd got given 2 kits from Tiger Hobbies that had them.
Okay.
And he wanted to do the advanced version, which he then told me he regretted. And I should have had that one. I should have had the basic one. But absolute fantastic kit to play with. I had a lot of fun doing this one. Armor's not something I do very often, but it's for me, it's good fun. I find armor's a lot more sort of easier for me quicker to put together, so I can get to the painting stage a lot quicker, even if I do put a lot of details on it. It did come with some basic photo etch, like the the grill covers. I think it was mainly the grill covers on that one. The 2 things I had an issue with, 3 things I had an issue with. One was the shit instructions, which have got half the numbers missing on them.
Yeah, they did, and that was an issue with that. That there was a lot of issues with that.
Yeah, I love Ryefield model kits. They are, I think, some of the best armor kits I've ever built, even compared to some of the Tamiya ones. But their instructions sometimes are such a pain in the backside to figure out, and they miss so much stuff off.
I'll tell you right now, the Ryefields kit is really good, and I redid a lot of it. I don't know if you the one that I did, I redid all like the photo etch, and I redid the welds on the whole model and things like that. I did on
this one actually. Yeah,
yeah, I did a lot of that, and I do agree with you that the instructions were a little off. Yeah. But it was a great kit. I mean, it was from top to bottom. I thought that this kit was excellent. No matter of fact, the upgraded kit, they give you so much other stuff. And they
Yeah.
also have that
Yeah.
additional set you can get, which I don't know necessarily think it's really needed, but I
No,
redid
no.
all the fenders. I did all the workable fenders on there using
Oh,
their
yeah.
they
Yes, I remember
released
seeing
the
that.
kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really
Yeah.
did enjoy this kit, and I loved the way you did the camo on here. That
Yeah.
model still sits not painted. Obviously, I really do want to paint it though, and this is really inspiring. So talk to me. What'd you do with the paint work and everything too?
So that was all Tamiya again. Mostly guesswork for the paint. But it was when I'd actually painted it, it was so heavy, the colour. It was too dark.
Okay, really?
So basically, yeah, I that chocolate brown was dark chocolate brown.
What did you use? What colors did you use at the Tamiya range? You didn't just use a dark green, dark yellow, red, brown?
No, I think the brown was a mix of buff and I think desert yellow. I think I used for that.
Oh, for
I
the
think it was
dark,
like
for the yellow.
yeah. I think the dark brown was something like I should write them
Did
down.
you
I
use
know
the
it's,
linoleum, Sully? Did you use their linoleum brown?
no, I think it was red brown. I think I used with a bit of black in
Yeah.
it.
The linoleum brown, the linoleum deck brown or whatever it is. I
It's
actually used that when I painted the early Panzer 3A for their red brownish color because it was spot on for that early war reddish brown color,
Yeah.
which is a really good color. I highly recommend it if anybody. I know I'm giving
Yeah.
paint advice, but if you want to take it.
Yeah, I'm not the best. I mean, I couldn't even tell you half the time what I mix. I just do it until it looks roughly
Right.
about right. But as I said, it was way too dark. So I did a massive dot filter all over it.
Okay. And
So
just
you can
just
kind of
shift
see,
the
you can
color a
kind of
little
see
bit.
it's a bit lighter, bit of a sandy sort of color. So that was yellow. I had to mix these up. It was a yellow, straight up yellow and white. So it all went through about like kind of like a buff color and a kind of like a cream color.
Right.
And that literally just got plastered all over it. So
Right.
the sides you can sort of see because I also try and use it as like a rain mark, so you can kind of see the
Little streaking.
the vertical, and then on the
Yeah.
top I just sort of basically stipple it because obviously it's got nowhere to go.
One thing that I do believe with the armor colors, especially with German armor, something like this late war, the colors are like it's like what's really accurate is like very, very subjective.
This is the problem. So
Yeah.
because I've had this quite a few times, especially with the German stuff.
Right.
You get these, oh no, it's wrong. It should be this, should be that. Well, the problem is, and it's the same with a lot of things, even stuff like RAF or anything like that. Depends on what factory painted it,
Right.
and because they'll get a list of right, you need X, Y, and Z colors, X, Y, Z of this mix of these colors to make color A.
Mm-hmm.
But if they haven't got enough of one of the mixes that need, it will be lighter, darker, almost virtually a different shade.
This tank in real life had a compressor on it for the crew to put their own camouflage on on the tank in the field. And at the time of when these hit the battlefield, when they were using them, and there are some good photos out there where you see crewmen using a air gun and painting the tank.
And don't forget the paint was similar to what we would think of as Kiwi shoe polish.
Right.
And you had to mix it with a solvent. So did you use gasoline? What was your solvent? And that's going to change the timbre of the paint too.
I seen a great reference picture of the tank is all pissing in the fucking bucket to thin down the fucking paint, man. I'm not kidding. That's what they did so the colors were all off. Like Frankie said.
Yeah, they're never right.
Especially the green.
You always get some person that thinks they know the exact color. They don't. I mean, a lot of stuff like aircraft restoration in particular, they'll say, oh, that's not the right color, but they've worked off an original bit of paint that's just about still left on. But that's probably faded, heavily chipped. Nobody because the records for their paint colors have disappeared basically,
and the paint changed color over time.
Exactly.
They
and
ran
also
out of
the other thing you got to bear in mind, which a lot of people don't realize, because I saw an idiot do this once. they were doing a scheme very similar to this one, and they sprayed the 3 colours onto a bit of plastic, and then put it next to a restored version of it.
Right.
And yes, they were completely different. One,
Yeah.
the fact that one was restored. The other thing is, painted scale is a completely different colour.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people don't realize. You can say, oh yeah, it's this particular colour, but if you painted that on the model, it does not look right. So you have to modify the colour to match the size of the model.
I'm always, and when I do paint
Scale effect
everybody,
is what they call that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I think that you always err on going a little lighter on your coating, on your paint color, and you can always make it darker.
Yeah.
Like with the
See,
weathering, it's always going to get darker.
I go the other way.
You know what? Well, John Steinman, who's a good friend of mine, he's a great painter, great modeler, published 10 times over, will always say, lighten it up until it hurts. That's what he would say.
Yeah.
Lighten the model up, not like the modulating thing. I'm not talking about that, but lighting your color as you're airbrushing and making like gradually more and more lighter coats. Make it as light as you can until it hurts, because when you start weathering it, it's going to go right back to where it was.
Yeah.
So, and believe it or not, that's really great advice, because it does make a difference. And you know what? When your paint is too dark, it's sometimes harder to lighten it than it is to darken it.
Yeah.
You did a great job on this, Sully. And
I was very pleased with this one. Actually,
I look at this. I'm looking at the turret too. You did all the welds up top too.
Yeah, they're not the best ones. It was the first time I've actually
this is
tried
great.
doing
These
it
were not.
because I used green
perfect.
stuff, which didn't really help either. But I think mainly as well, which I learned a lot later on, is that I was working it too wet. I should have let it dry a bit longer before I started working it.
Right.
But
Well,
I think for the first time wasn't bad.
I think you did a great job, because you got to remember, these welds were not perfect.
Yeah.
They were not perfect.
First time, Sully. We always go in a little too wet.
You did all the
rough,
cuts on the,
and then
I
we
see
get better.
You did all the flame cuts and something on the back hatch too, right? The cuts.
Yeah,
on the hatch and
did
stuff.
a lot. Night Shift's a massive in general. I know he's solid armor, but he's a massive inspiration for me. I've used a lot of his techniques on my aircraft.
Yeah,
a lot of the time. So
I was gonna say,
But
wow,
no,
you do great work. You look like night. It looks like night shift. I thought this was night shift model.
I try.
No, I'm only kidding. This is great.
The only thing I added to that was the little hooks on the side.
Yeah, you drew those in. Yeah, I did.
That's the only thing I added. The other thing was wrong with this is if anybody's interested in doing it, it depends how bothered you about being accurate. Because they've done it for the tracks that is
they're mirrored left. I think they're supposed to be mirrored right. Is it something like that?
Yeah, that's it. Because they did it on the early version where they weren't handed tracks.
Right.
Is where this one has got handed tracks, so you need to move the hangers on it. Which I didn't do until a lot later on. So it was a bit of a pain in the ass to do that.
Yeah, that was one issue with that, and I actually mentioned that too. Look at this, Mike. Fucking Mike. We got to start vetting better in this chat. Yeah, that's something that I mentioned when I did the build review for too, is that issue. But it's overall, it's a really good kit.
It's a beautiful kit. Yeah, beautiful. I'll do it again. Easy.
I want to mention something I saw. What was this? This Sherman. This what is this, Frankie?
Yeah, that's another
Sully, you got to do a little better research.
I know. I think I know.
Is that a 50-star flag or is that a 48-star flag?
I don't know, but I know the flag.
Hold on, Frankie, zoom that in. I want to count the stars. I'm only kidding. I got to. I saw that picture. I was like, wow, it's great.
I know. I don't think I'm 100. You can tell me obviously, but I'm 100% sure that was never done.
What, with the flag?
But I just thought just to call in.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I don't know if it was done or not, but it looks fucking cool.
Well, that's why I did it, to be honest.
In that picture with the dark background,
I went for artistic license on that one.
I'm always a big believer, and Robbie, we Frankie too. We talk about this, about adding splashes of color to your model.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Something like that American flag, whether they did it or not, okay, they might not have done it, but for modeling and display purposes, that looks fantastic because it gives more color to that. It just gives an extra splash of color. It's excellent.
Yeah,
no brainer. Artistic license.
I try for accuracy most of the time, but sometimes
Well, you're
For
using
the
a
sake of
flag.
visual interest, you know.
You're using a flag that they used when Alaska became a state, for Christ's sake, Sully. So how accurate can you possibly be?
Oh, I don't know.
No, it's 48 stars. I think I'm breaking your balls. Let's talk about the building. What do we do here? So what's the kit on this project? And what'd you do?
It's RT, is it RT models? RT dioramas?
What?
Yeah.
The building?
The building, yeah.
Oh, I
So
was gonna
it's,
say the tank. What the hell's going on here?
I thought we were on the building, sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're on the building.
When you
yeah,
said
we're doing-
building, I was thinking the building because it was on.
We're on the building. Talk
on
about the
So
building.
we'll get the actual building itself. So it's a gypsum cast building. So you got the front side, the two sides, the roof, the base, the steps are all separate, and they give you wood cut windows and doors.
Nice.
The only thing I had to add was the sort of like glass in the background of it.
Okay.
But I thought because I've got nothing, I didn't box that in, so it's just open at the back. So I just added some bits of basically paper to make look like curtains. Basically on that, I used a mesh from somewhere that I think it was some scrap stuff I had to make it look like lead patterns in the windows.
Yeah.
For that.
Oh, I thought they were just worried about somebody breaking in.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
even
all,
my
probably should
buddy
be.
Russ is saying that the brickwork and plant life is great on this. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, I was quite sure. But again, that's the main stalk, if you like, of the vine or tree or whatever it is. Again, is an actual root.
Right.
So if you want to do trees and stuff, apart from
Why is there no
using-
bird nest? Disappointed.
I think I hadn't done it by that point, had I?
Yeah, no
can't
bird.
remember
Yeah,
if I've
where's
done
the
it.
bird nest or something?
I
What's
know it's
going on?
something I've got to. I'm starting to try and add Easter eggs into builds now.
Or a
should've had a
chicken,
dog
chicken
walk-
somewhere, or a
So you
fucking
You got a
red
dog
light.
walking and pissing on
I
the
have
track.
recently bought a load of small scale, different scale birds. So to sort of
You-
start editing.
You and Santucci got to get together and go bowling. You could have had a dog pissing on the front part of the track,
Yeah. It's stuff like that. That's what I
Lifting
want to
its
try and
leg.
start adding.
pulling a Donati when Donati was drunk over in South Bend when he caught him, almost got arrested for
I don't
pissing
lift
on
the
the side
leg.
of the
I
building.
got reach.
But yeah, but
So what-
again,
so-
the main build of this was again easy peasy.
Yeah, what was
Just
the kit
fell
again?
together.
What was the kit?
It's Rifle models.
Oh, this is the Rifle, another Rifield's kit. Look at you getting
Yeah.
Rifle models. I listen, I
you
love
know.
Rifield's, you know.
I only get the best, you know.
Now the canopy, what is
Try.
it? The canvas cover that was in the kit.
No, everything on the back there.
No,
On
no,
the-
no. I'm
on
on the
the turret.
mantlet.
Yeah, that was kit.
That's kit. Okay,
And
wow.
I can now see the steam in it as well.
Now what is this? What did you get the stowage and stuff?
Stowage, most of that. Some of the boxes are resin. I think they were Value Gear resin.
All right.
Thanks,
Value,
Steve
yeah, Steve Manzella,
All
good buddy.
Yeah.
Guy still owes
Everything
me money, man.
else-
Still owes me money.
Everything else apart from the kit bag, which is a random Tamiya piece from something else, is all mini art.
Mm.
So the Jerry's, the oil
That's great for
cans,
color.
the wine bottles, that's all mini art. Losing the will there.
Okay.
But there's a couple of tops on the top there. The top,
Yeah.
the main larger tops, tissue paper.
Okay.
I think I use for that.
Mini
And then
art
the
makes
top
great
ones-
stowage stuff,
I
like the
love it.
bottles, the crates. It's like a no-brainer. Every time I go to my local shop, he carries all the accessories for mini art. I always grab something.
Probably sometimes there's too many parts to them
Yeah, I know.
to
but-
make them, and then there's too much shit to clean up with them. That's the.
But it's so
problem
good
sometimes.
though, man. Like if nobody
God,
else
it's-
is making that shit. Give you
That's it. They
give a
do some.
slap or a clap. I mean, listen, I just built the RSO for mini art, so I don't want to look at a fucking mini art kit for I don't know next year, 2026.
No more
But,
slappers.
No more. Let Jet do that shit. I don't want to. Like Dave's like, yeah, you want to do another one? I'm like, absolutely not. I'd rather jam needles under my nails than do that. What did you do for the what? Like, what did you know? Again, Tamiya paint, OD. Is that what you did for the base?
Yeah,
Just
it was,
OD. They're OD.
no, there was. I did a yellow based on that one. Well, yellow green basing on it.
Yellow green. Okay.
Very mottled. Then I think it was straight up just standard olive drab, but very light. I think actually in some parts, I actually did a post shade as well because I went a bit too heavy over the pre shade.
You lose
that
it, man.
one.
You got to have restraint, right?
I know, but I actually quite enjoy post shading actually a lot more than I do pre shading for some reason. But then everything else, weathering wise, was all oils.
I could see that.
Yeah.
No, you
I
just
went a
using
bit heavier with that one.
the oil paints that you use. You're not using. I'm going to use the word, Frank. Did I say it right? Abtalung.
Of
Thailand.
Thailand.
I was close.
Thailand.
I was ready to be all excited that he says I did it right. Abteilung.
Abteilung. No,
Are you using them or which are
no.
AK ones now? They're under that.
No. Windsor and Newton. No.
Really? So was it like
artist
Naples yellow you're using for your dust? Isn't that like a good dust color, Naples yellow?
No, it was white.
White
And a bit of yellow.
Oh, you mixed it together.
Yeah.
No.
What, like cadmium yellow and stuff? Or what kind of yellow?
Yellow.
Just
No, they don't.
Sully.
I don't think Windsor Newton just makes a straight yellow. They usually have like some other name for it.
The man had a bicky. He grabbed a tube, and it was just off yellow.
Yeah, whatever. This guy's doing whatever the hell he wants. Look at him. This guy's
lemon yellow hue.
Was it?
Lemon yellow hue.
Thank you. See, it's not just
lemon
yellow, Frank. Don't ever tell me
Saucy.
my business again.
I think we're all
Guys,
yellow
take a picture,
too.
for God's
Like
sake.
made an
Yeah,
oil
to be fair-
paint that bird, my friend.
The white's titanium white.
Titanium white. No, but very interesting. Well, listen, I mean, you don't have, the Windsor Newton is still the gold standard. I still have Windsor Newton
Yeah.
paint from like years ago, and it's
They
still
last.
perfect.
They last. Absolutely.
Wow, look at this thing, huh? You know what? Rob is right though, man. Rob said that Rob had mentioned about your photos, and as much as I want to give you a hard time about using an iPhone, but you do a very
You
good
can't,
job with
can
the
you?
dark background.
Yeah. So what normally this one's slightly different, but what I've got is I've got a plastic stacking shelf with photography black backing card or vinyl, and I've got a ring light just up inside of the shelf piece, and then I'll have another lamp panel light in front of it just to front light. It depends on what I need it for.
Right.
This one was very different, obviously, but I used the two together. But this one, I just
White
some of these
background.
shots was.
White.
I know, but the black one's more moody, and that's more my
White.
style.
You want to do what? We're gonna get you in. We're gonna get you. Sully's gonna get a book. The only way we can do that is white background. Trust me.
It won't happen.
No, but this looks
I know. A lot of people said that it does show them off way better, but I like the artistic.
I think the artistic
look.
thing,
So
the black
that's-
does work really good. It does look really good. So talk to me here. What kit is this, and what are we looking at here?
So it's HK's nose art section, but there's a bit of modification to it because obviously it doesn't come with the Bombay doors. So originally the
Right.
kit sits on like a trestle stand for it, and it's just complete, just no doors bay. So I had a friend. He got basically bits he'd allowed me to use. So he sent me quite a few bits for this one. So the doors was the main one, and then he offered the three crew members that I've put into it, and a few of the glass parts that go into it as well, because this one's S for sugar, and everybody that does S for sugar does the version of when it hit its 100th raid. But nobody really does the later versions, which I've done this one, because there was a few upgrades on it compared to the earlier version, as
look
well
at
as
that,
the extended bombing raids that are on it. Which, if you go back quickly, all the other ones are perfectly straight and level, apart from the few at the bottom, because they had to, because the quote was already written, and then they had to squeeze in the other ones afterwards. Because allegedly the original nose art for this aircraft was a naked woman.
Oh,
And because they wanted to put it in the newspaper, and as a morale boost, they couldn't have a pair of knockers on the front page.
Well, talk about
So-
a morale boost. That's
Frankie,
a good
did I
point.
well, I
yeah,
know.
naked wolf.
I don't think. Well, we had a newspaper called The Sun, which was prolific for page 3, which always had the bazonkas out, which they've now stopped because of PC
Dude,
reasons.
Steve Andriano might be on. He's getting all
Samantha
excited.
Fox.
He was on.
So, yeah. So they blanked it out and they put the bombing raids on
Okay.
instead.
So that's how many bombs it dropped, obviously, right?
That's basically, this was like its end, what it finished up as, basically.
Right. And what was the survival rate of the guy that sat in the front of that nose was not high, something like that.
A lot better than the guy at the back.
Oh, really?
There's a lot, yeah. The tail gunners, our tail gunners, their life expectancy was about 2 weeks, if not less. In a crash, they got a better survival rate than anybody else because they were at the back.
Yeah. Wow.
But
But they got shot first. So
yeah. So the figures, I can't remember who did them, but basically you can't get them because the bloke stopped doing them for whatever reason, which is a shame because they're actually really good figures and they go into the model really well. The Navigator figure, so because what they've done as well is that they gave you the version where you could do the Dam Buster Raids version. So the Bombardier had the little, basically little stick with the 2 posts on it, and the upper gunner. But I've repositioned him to be the Navigator in it. The really poor version of a bloke at the back was actually a 35th scale figure, which just modified just to be as a silhouette, basically, because you can't really see him at the back. But obviously there's a window on the far side and the one on this side. So when because I've lit this up, you can just see the silhouette of him. So it looks like it's a full kind of crew at the front. All it's really missing actually was a flight engineer, which would have made it better. Really.
This is great. So what's the scale? What's the scale again, Sully?
32nd.
32nd. Wow. Okay.
36. It's quite chunky.
Yeah.
That's the navigation light, which I scratch built, which I'd put a working light in.
That's.
It reminds me of what's that animation, Rev? With the lamp.
Oh, Pixar.
Oh, Pixar.
Yeah, Pixar.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Pixar
does look like the Pixar lamp. I'm waiting for it to bounce up and down.
But you see the blue and red braiding. They're micro LEDs, and they are so delicate. I think I had to go in about 5 times to repair lights.
Oh wow!
And it was getting to a point where if I can't get half of them to work, I just wasn't going to bother. I just button it all up and pretend that.
You know what happened to Sully? What happened? He got electrocuted fixing his LED lights in his fucking bomber plane.
Yeah, but look at the effect though. Look at this.
You get all fucked up.
Look at this.
That is pretty damn cool, though, Sully. That really is, and
Yeah.
that's going to lead us to this next thing. And you're going to screen share it because you got the pictures. So, Frankie, let's let Sully screen share because this is a project you're currently working on, right?
The current project, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we?
As shouted out by the Plastic Posse.
Oh, they shouted it out. That's right. We all got a little bit of a shout out. Thanks, guys. I heard them talk about that they're finally going to maybe paint some of the shit that I gave them. So let's see what happens. So yeah, so Sully's sharing his screen. Charlie, you got to shut the Pornhub behind this off.
Well, that's you lot.
I didn't realize you liked the granny porn too.
Oh shit,
Oh,
Sully,
yeah.
you're subscribing to my
That's it.
channel. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks, OnlyFans.
No worries. So yeah, so this is. I mean, I've gotten a bit further than this. I haven't got any up-to-date photos at the moment. So basically, it's a forced perspective diorama. I had to actually make a mock-up of the model before I even started it because I wasn't sure actually on how to do it. So it was a bit of guesswork. But basically, the front is 35th, so the figures are 35th. They are master box figures, apart from the Bren guy that's lying down. That was a dragon figure. Wasn't the best, but it was actually better at the actual other figures that were
I
in
can't
there.
believe that you're saying that the master the MB right?
I think they're great. I think they're great figures.
Master
I think
Box makes good
this-
figures.
There's some bit of flash and a little bit of cleaner, but they're very crisp.
Okay.
The ones that I've had anyway, maybe they're just sort of newer versions, maybe, I don't know.
I'm breaking your chops.
But so yeah, so we got the basically the guys was crossing the road and they got stopped by an MG. So I had a friend 3D print me a building, which is at the back. That's it all painted up.
And then what's his
so-
scale? What's the scale of that guy, you think?
144th.
Wow.
Oh, good scale. Good scale.
So I'd asked him, I gave him a rough measurement of the building shape. I says I need it by X amount of centimeters and sort of roughly this height. But I was like, just do whatever you can that is easy for you, because I wasn't that fussed. And I says, if you can, all I really wanted was basically the head of a machine gun and his head basically sticking out of a window. But because this was actually based off an actual building in France, just slightly modified. But he was a bit too exposed, so I had to make these sandbags out of green stuff, just to hide him up a little bit. But yeah, so I was watching a video. The idea from this one come from a video of a bloke talking about the MG42, and what he does at the end of the video, he he basically has the weapon fired at him. He's sat behind a berm and has the weapon fired, and I thought I could make a diorama out of that.
No, really, this is really very creative.
The Lancaster. If you watch the Lancaster video, I did exactly the same thing. I'd actually got the end video or the glamour shots figured out before the actual model was done. So what I've done with the Lancaster is I've got an actual genuine recording of a Lancaster crew on a bombing raid, and when you listen to the actual recording, you could very slightly hear the drone of the engines and the flak in the background. So what I had to do with that was I had to find other sounds to boost it, to make it sound like basically the actual recording, because obviously they're recording it through the throat mics,
right?
So not that we didn't have throat mics, sorry, but the mass mics,
right over the face.
So it wasn't very obvious. If you really listen to the actual recording, not on mine, but the general recording of it, which you can find, you can hear it. So I had to use distant thunder and artillery for that, because I couldn't find a decent flak sound. But I've done the same for this one. On that one, just the crew in the background.
Oh wow, look at this! If I go full screen,
nice.
So the two, look at that, huh?
But I have got, I don't know if it will play, but I don't know if it will play the sound.
I don't know if we'll be able to hear the sound.
Oh, let's see.
I'll try it. You tell me. And
no,
that's fine. That's right. It'll be a surprise for everybody then.
There you
we
go.
Get to it. So
whoa, psychedelic. There you go. Dude, that's fantastic stuff, Sal. This is excellent. This was really fun tonight, man. I really do appreciate you coming on and showing us your work and talking about it, man. This is great.
And staying up late.
And staying up late.
No,
even Kat was staying. Isn't it like 2:00 in the morning there? Yeah, it is.
Half 2.
It's time for a Bicky.
Listen, it's fine. What is he doing? He's gonna go build a model after this.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm off tomorrow anyway. I shifted some stuff around, so I got tomorrow off. So I'm more of a night person than I'm a morning person anyway. So I'm not even noticing that it's 2:30 in the morning.
Well, we try to stick to about an hour and a half on the episode ones, and we're right about an hour and a half. And so we got what's the schedule like, Frankie? So let me look at the calendar here. So we have the next show is going to be another guest. I don't know who it is just yet, but we will know and shore that up over the next couple of days. And then the next Thursday will be our no, not the Thursday, but the Friday night. We're going to do Friday night on the bench again. It'll be on a Friday. Sound good? So that way Santucci can join up, right?
Can sit there and be miserable.
And not talk and have his back to everybody.
Yeah, playing on his phone the whole time.
Yeah.
Do his imitation of an LPGA tour.
Yeah, cranky. He's cranky all the time. But no, but yeah, so we're going to see who our next guest is. And I wanted to say something. I want to say something to our good friend, Mr. John Colasanti. This is what this hobby is all about. You know, I had made a post that I needed to have some shells made for the quarter scale and the Nashorn, and a bunch of people did respond, and I do appreciate that. But John, who I know well and who lives close by, was right willing to draw it up and make them for me right away. And then our good friend Christopher Nielsen over in I guess where's Christopher? He's in Sweden. Where's he from?
Poland, I thought.
No, Christopher Nielsen is not from Poland. He's from Sweden. Up there. There's a big difference, Rob. God, Poland.
Fucking Sweden.
No, he's up in Sweden. So Chris does Demon Barber design, and I had asked Chris if he can ask Panzer 2 tracks and 16 scale for the Gecko kit, because the tracks need this too much cleanup on those friggin' things. Unfortunately, we know that there's an issue with the shipping now, and he was, well, you know, so thankfully he had the file. Wolf of Colts gave him to John. John printed them out for me, and he sent it within like 2 days to me, which I appreciate. That's what the hobby's about, man. Just helping people out, man. I do appreciate it, and that's what this is about. Just having fun and sharing, and just, you know, giving back. The more you give back, the better, right, Frank?
Exactly.
You know this. I wish my friend Rob would understand this concept. He's still not
please.
learning it.
Please.
What?
Please.
Please what?
Nothing.
I'm breaking the chops.
I'm
Good thing we got a support group, eh, Adam?
Yeah, before we sign off, though, I do want to say this. Anybody who's watching, going to watch this even after we get a lot of views after it airs. We are still now. I had talked about it last live cast. I also talked about it on the last podcast. Obviously, the new show is going to be starting. Model Car Mania is going to be starting. This Scale Car Podcast with Jason Hanscom, BG, Brian Gugamos, Justin Ryan, Mike Outlaw, and Jody Doyle. So that is already in the motion. We're just waiting for the logo to be shored up. But that first show should be recorded and then maybe out by the end of the month. So that's gonna be starting, and I'm looking forward to that, because that's going to clean up, or like have a little more car stuff in it that we don't do on our show, because none of us know anything about cars really. Rob knows a little bit. He's not that good.
You don't know what a clutch is.
You
don't know what a clutch is. So
I know what a clutch is, you knucklehead. What's a clutch?
You know what you got to use to drive a stick shift?
I know what a clutch is, you jerk. And also we are starting to we're starting to really talk about this charity auction for December. So I'm going to be putting up a post about that. And I'm hoping that people would be willing to donate any kits or products that you might have that you're not going to use, that you're willing to give for charity. And I'm looking forward to getting that started, right, Frank, Rob, Sully? If you're more than willing to participate, we're looking to do a charity auction in December. Maybe 4 or 5 hour charity auction, live show here on the Insanity TV, and we're going to be auctioning products and raising money, and we're going to be 100% donations to a very good charity that we're going to be mentioned very soon. And we're going to also talk about the other charity we wanted to do, and it was very comical, Rob, about the response we got to that.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of it again? We can say it here. What was the name of that charity that's in Canada that is similar to the one we want to do here?
Operation Vet Build.
Operation Vet Build. So should I tell the story? Should I just say it, Rob?
No.
Don't say it?
No.
All right, I won't say it.
No.
But it's like, that's for the podcast. I'll talk about that on the podcast. Can I talk about it on the podcast?
We'll talk about that.
All right. I think it might need to be discussed, because that's kind of odd, though. You know,
it is odd. I'm not gonna take that away from you.
It's odd. It's not like they were mean and like bad. It was just odd, the response, though. It's like, what are we talking
Very
about
corporate. It's a very corporate response.
Yeah, it's like weird. That might be a good little riv rant on a podcast, the next show or something. All right.
Or not.
All right. So, Sully, you had a good time tonight?
As always, it's good.
Dude, you do great work, Sully. You really do, man. And it's
you.
very. I know. I know we're thankful for the people we've had on the live cast. I know Frankie and Rob are going to agree with me that, you know, your stuff is very inspiring, right? Try different things and new things. Definitely your take on the hobby, especially with your aircraft, is very, very vastly different than others. And it's a nice change. You're like the yin and Scott Samo's the yang.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, Rob?
Yeah, I could see
He's
that.
got these nice, clean, beautifully airbrushed models. Like everything's immaculate, like OCD, like me when it comes to shit. And here's Sully going, you know what? We're gonna fuck it all up. We're gonna break the windshields.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna
put
ding it.
chickens
He's like,
in
what are
it.
you doing? I'm
It's,
making it look mean.
You
Like
got
in
a
slab
yang,
shot.
you got a yang, and then you got Rob, like a little unpainted nutsack hanging right in the middle.
Painting as we, you know what, man? People are gonna be shocked when they see the stuff that's gonna be coming out of my work. Well, from me.
I'll be
They
shocked when I
will be
see it
shocked.
too.
Yeah.
You forget that I'm painting that stug, Rob, right?
I haven't seen you sitting at your airbrush booth yet. Not in a
Listen,
long
man,
time.
I've been doing a lot of things. Maybe you know what?
Behind the scenes.
You're gonna take the helm. All right, people are starting to jet out, so we're gonna start signing off. All right. So Sully, we really appreciate you being on, man. We really
No,
do.
thanks for having us again.
And we're gonna
It's
get you
great.
back on the
It's been great.
podcast as well, man. Again, that's
Anytime, let me know.
You're making me
I'm
want to
always
build a
up
Gannet now. I have no interest in aircraft, but I
You'd
just
need
have
to.
Oh, I fucking want to build that thing. That's how I
honestly,
found Sully. That's how I
it's
found
a beautiful
Sully.
kit. It's a beautiful kit. Honestly, it's.
I think he was the first guy to have a fucking video on it built.
I was.
on YouTube.
Yeah, I think I was actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
That thing
Yeah,
was
so it's-
released, and then I looked it up, and then I found you. And that's
Yeah.
when I was
Somebody
like,
says, "Oh, that's a bit of an expensive build to do something like that." I was like, "Not really."
Yeah. Well, listen,
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
spent
start
more,
off.
trust me.
Don't go nowhere, Sully. Stick around, okay? All right, guys,
Definitely.
we're gonna be signing off. So for the Modeling Insanity podcast, I'm Rob Riv. I'm with Rob Adams,
yo, have a good night, guys.
Frankie Donati,
Thanks for spending some time with us tonight.
and our special guest, Mr. Sully.
Thanks very much.
All
See
right,
you
guys.
soon,
Thanks for
hopefully.
watching. Be safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.